So coming all the way down to your back, let the arms splay out, let the legs open up. And can you hear me okay, Barb? Just a thumbs up if you can hear me. Perfect. Okay. All right, my friend. So we'll officially begin. And I love to start out with a very conscious exhale as you simply start to let go of any charged energy from your day. As you start to let go of any control. So we simply surrender into the here and the now. And then every time you breathe in, starting to fuel yourself up, re-energizing, rejuvenating. And the breath is smooth in through the nose and out through the nose. And directing the breath all the way to the bottom of your lungs. A few more breaths just like that. And then bringing one hand to the heart center, one hand to the belly. Bending your knees, bringing the soles of the feet to touch, letting the knees open up. And here, cultivating intention for practice. How do you want to feel? How do you want to be? And we start to settle ourselves into the evening, into the stillness of the night, as we take a moment to just feel the heaviness of the hips, feeling the movement come from the breath, everything else still. And then releasing the hands, draw the legs together. Bring the right knee into your chest. Straighten the left leg to the top of the mat. And just start out with a really good squeeze into your belly. And then letting the knee open up towards the right shoulder. And then we bring the leg back up to the center and then moving into a twist. Right arm extends out as you slowly draw the knee across the chest over to the left. And gaze can go to the right and then eyes can close. So for most of practice, eyes can be closed. It's a really good way to start to go within to remove external stimulus. And go ahead and slowly come back through the center. Bending the knees, feet on the floor. Just do a little adjustment in the hips and spine back to neutral. And then we'll bring the knees into the chest, cup the knees with the hands. On your exhale, bending your elbows, just hugging the legs into your chest. On the inhale, straightening out the arms. Exhale to hug the legs into the chest. So we're just feeling the pelvis tilt forward and back. I like to think of this as massaging Mother Earth and letting Mother Earth massage you back. Eventually, as the legs come back into the chest, you'll keep the left knee into the chest and you'll straighten the right leg to the top of the mat. Second side as we hug the left thigh snug. Feeling the stretch in glute, low back. Letting the knee open up towards the left shoulder. And then into our twist, second side, knee comes back up through the center, left arm extends out, and then drawing the knee across the chest. Gaze can go to the left, and then eyes can close. And then we'll bring the leg back up through the center. Bend the knees, feet on the floor, slight adjustment in the hips and spine. Interlace the fingertips at your belly. On the inhale, we take the arms overhead as you let the knees open up. So creating this circle around the head, feeling a little opening in the chest and the triceps, armpits. And then on your exhale, bringing the hands back to the belly, knees come together. Again, inhale, opening up, knees opening, chest opening. Exhale, back to starting position. Continue a few more rounds. Continuing to slow down the breath and the momentum of your thoughts. And this also works lower core, lower belly, and feeling low back press into the floor as you bring the legs together. And take one more round. On the exhale, we bring the hands back to the belly, knees come together. Releasing those arms and go ahead and interlace the fingertips behind your head. We're just using the weight of the head to open up the elbows and the chest. Bring the knees up over the hips. On your exhale, we let the knees fall to the left. Now, if this is too much in any way, you can just release the hands. Otherwise, keep opening up in the chest and the elbows. And then slowly drawing those knees back up and then over to the right on the exhale. Just letting the legs drop, keeping the chest opening. And bringing the legs back up, you'll lower the feet down to the floor and then just let the legs extend out. Keeping the hands interlaced behind your head. I call this stargazing. Eventually releasing the hands from underneath your head as you reach those arms overhead. Start to walk the legs over to the right and then take the upper body and arms over to the right, keeping your entire body grounding into the floor. You can take the left ankle, hook it above the right, and grab a hold of that left wrist. And just feeling the stretch from the wrist all the way down to that left heel. And then walking the body back through the center. And then we'll switch sides, taking the body over to the left. Arms shimmy over, legs shimmy over. And then you could hook that right ankle above the left and grab a hold of your right wrist. And then bringing the body and the arms, the legs back to the center. Release those arms, bend those knees again. Crossing your right ankle, or I'm sorry, excuse me, your right thigh above the left thigh, so like you would at a dinner table. And then bring the knees into the chest. Grab towards the thigh, knees, or shin bones, and just press down with those hands. So you'll feel a little more sensation in the outer hip, glute. And then release your hands, unravel those legs, take the legs up towards the sky, and let the legs open up into a V shape. Hands can be on the outside of the legs or inner thighs a little bit more. And notice if your hips or your tailbone is lifting up a whole lot, just feel the heaviness of your sacrum and low back into the floor. And then we'll bend the knees, draw the legs together, left thigh crossing over the right. Bring the knees into your chest and just press down in the hands. And then unravel those legs again. This time we let the knees open up into happy baby. So keeping the knees bent, grabbing either behind the thigh or towards the feet, pressing down, feeling the shoulders heavy, and the face relax. A little rocking side to side. And start to release as you draw those legs back together. Lower the feet down, rolling to one side of the mat, and bring yourself up into a seat. Once you arrive, just placing the hands on the knees, drawing those ears back over the rib cage. We'll take those shoulders up to the ears, squeeze. Exhale down and away. Again, breath in and breath out. One more time. And exhale. Opposite direction, shoulder rolls back, up to the ears, down and away. And one more time, inhale and exhale. Tucking the chin, feeling the stretch in the back of the neck. As you take your chin to your shoulder, and then back through the center, other direction. Just imagine drawing a smile with your nose. Just continue side to side. And then eventually, as you come back through the center, this time lifting the chin, letting the head dip back ever so slightly. And this time imagining a rainbow. So taking your head from one side all the way to the other side. And we'll take a full circle around as you tuck the chin and connecting the movements with your breath. Exhale lets you tuck the chin. The inhale opens the throat. Eventually going the other direction. And one more full circle all the way around. Head comes back to neutral. Right arm reaches across the chest. Grab a hold with the left. Feel a stretch in the shoulder. Take a breath in. On the exhale, let yourself tilt over to the left. Do that with breath. Inhale brings you back up. Exhale to tilt over to the left. One more time, breath. And breath out. Coming back around and release, switching sides. Left arm reaching across the chest. Grab a hold with the right. Feel the stretch in the shoulder. Inhale. Exhale to tilt over to the right. And do that 2 more times. One more, inhale and exhale. Coming back up to the center, release the arms and just a little shake out. Taking your left hand, place your hand onto your right shoulder. Take the right hand behind you, palm faces away from you as you continue to walk that hand over. Keep that nice tall spine and then start to turn over to the right, gazing over your shoulder. And then come back around. So you release, inhale, open up those arms. Exhale, we go to the other side, right hand to your shoulder, and walk your left hand behind you as you gaze over your shoulder. And then come back around. Inhale, open those arms back up. This time into a regular twist, right hand behind you, left hand on that right knee. Sit tall and rotate. You want to continue to feel the optimal alignment of the spine, even in the context of twists or side bending. And then back to the center. Inhale, opening up those arms. Exhale over to the left. So left hand props your spine up. And inhale, this time both arms reaching up towards the sky. Right arm drops on the exhale. Walking that right hand away from you as you side bend. Keep pressing that left hip into the floor and maybe gaze up. Rising back up on the inhale. Exhale, bending over to the left. And then coming back up, releasing those hands. Walking the hands behind you. Open up the chest, pressing into your hands. And feel your collarbone open. And then finally into a fold, we bring those hands forward and continue to walk those hands forward as you let your head soften. And just pause here, closing the eyes and breathing deeply. And then slowly come back up. Take your legs forward and just start to tap out your knees, rotate the ankles out, just get fresh blood flow through those legs. And then we're going to actually come down to a lying down position on our side body. So just swing those legs off to the side and come down to the floor. So you're on that side body. Doesn't matter which side you start with. You can prop your head up with your hand or just let your head rest. We're going to start with a quad stretch. So the knees are soft and bent. And then taking that top leg, maybe grabbing a hold of your pant leg, ankle. Another option is just to slide that top leg back, and that'll give you the same stretch. And then just relax. Keep drawing that heel in towards your glute. And you'll release that quad stretch. Bring that top knee towards the chest. And then you're just going to take that leg up towards the ceiling. So the knee can remain bent here. You can also straighten out the leg, grabbing wherever it's comfortable. And you're going to go ahead and bend that top leg back down, bringing the knees together. So back to that starting position. Now we're going to transition on the belly. So you're going to straighten out your bottom leg and keep that top knee bent and just turn onto your belly. So it's okay if you're a little off kilter on your mat. So we're in half frog pose. So your knee is bent in alignment with the hip or up a little bit higher towards the shoulder. Toes are turned out, press through the heel, and then just rest into your hands. And we're going to stay in this position, except we're going to lift up in the chest. You're just going to start to press into your forearms and then just lift up a little bit. And then keep pressing your bent knee into the floor. And then lowering back down into the floor. Go ahead and gently roll back into your bent knees. You're on your side body again. Letting your head rest into your arm. We just take that top arm and just bend your elbows. You rotate that shoulder around. And then go the other direction. And then eventually you're going to straighten your arm up towards the sky. Turn the palm so it faces behind you to your low back. So bringing that hand to your low back. And then keep walking that hand up towards your shoulder blades. And just see how that feels. We're actually going to roll onto our back and use the weight of the body to stretch that shoulder. So you're just going to roll onto your back, knees remain bent, feet on the floor, and just rest. Again, it's okay if you come off kilter on your mat. If that's too much, just lift up a bit, slide that hand back out, however you want to do that. But maybe keep that internal rotation of your shoulder. And then you're going to just roll on back onto your side body as you release that hand out. And this time straightening out the arm and then rotate that arm around again. And just go slow and steady, just getting all our joints lubricated. And then other direction. Sometimes we have blockages in our joints, and lubricating them, keeping the energy flowing, so important for overall health. And gently releasing that arm. We're going to find our way to the other side. So however you want to get there, I'm going to flip to the other side of the mat. And you just find your way down. Again, any variation you want to take with that bottom arm. Knees are bent. We'll start out with that quad stretch. You can grab a hold of the ankle or just slide that knee back, drawing that heel in towards your glutes. And then releasing that quad stretch, bringing the knee towards the chest. Let the knee open up towards the ceiling. And then here's that option to straighten out the leg. And continue to pull that leg in, feeling a bigger stretch in the hamstrings. And we'll go ahead and slowly release that, bending the knees. So once again, we're moving into half frog. So you're going to come to your belly. You'll straighten out that bottom leg and keep that top knee bent as you just roll onto your belly and just let the head rest in your hands. And coming up to Sphinx. So you'll keep the legs as is. Start to rise up on your forearms, pressing down. And then you'll go ahead and slowly come back down to your belly. And then we'll come on to our side body again. So you'll start to bend your knees, roll back to that side body. And in that fetal position, we'll bend that top elbow and then just rotate your shoulder around. And then go the other direction. And eventually straightening the arm up to the ceiling, turning the palm so it faces behind you to your low back. And again, continue to walk that hand up towards the shoulder blade. And then when you're ready, gently just roll onto your hand. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor. And just using the weight to stretch the shoulder. And then rolling gently off your hand, coming back to that side body as we straighten out the arm and then do that rotation with that straight arm. And then other direction. And then just bringing that hand down to the floor and slowly bring yourself up. So we're going to go into full frog. You're going to come and face towards the long edge of your mat. So you're on your knees and start to open the knees wide. So we're just bringing the posture together now. Turn those toes out and then drop down to your forearms. You can stay right there. Start to shimmy those knees out a little bit more and a little bit more, opening up the pelvis, and then just let yourself breathe. And be still for a moment. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. As you become really in tune with your breath, in tune to the beating of your heart, you can almost feel the heartbeat of the world slowing down. Telling you to let go. A few more soothing breaths. And then to come out of the pose, you're going to rise up and shimmy the knees together. And take your time. And then eventually moving into some hip circles. So again, you don't necessarily need to move on your mat. You can just stay as is or circle the pelvis around. Going the other direction. And then eventually find your way back into a seat. And then bring the legs forward. Walk your feet out mat distance, lean back and do some wipers here. So this will be a nice release for low back and for groin. Eventually letting the knees fall either direction. And then pressing the pelvis forward a tad. So you can continue with that internal rotation of that top thigh. You can stay right here or start to lean back on those forearms. And then continue to push that hip forward a tad. If you're lying down on your forearms, you can stay as is and then bring the legs up and then make your way to your other side, letting the knees fall, pressing pelvis forward. And then bringing the legs back up and then slowly rising up into a seat. This time soles of the feet come together, the knees will open up. Breath is in and up. And the exhale, slowly folding into yourself. And then just simply yield, give in, be still. And continue breathing, letting the head soften. We'll be here for a few more soothing breaths. Eventually bringing yourself back up. We'll go ahead and extend the right leg towards the right side of the room. Bring the left foot to your thigh. Turning the chest towards the left. Reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Then we're going to bend towards that right leg. A big stretch for low back. If you need support in your shoulder, you can place your hand on your head and gaze up. And eventually just turning the chest down and over that right thigh. As you continue to fold. And then coming back up as you take the legs out into a V shape. And then we'll take the arms up towards the ceiling. Inhale. 3 rounds of breath. Exhale to reach forward and down. Breath in to come back up. Breath out to reach forward and down. And the last round, inhale and exhale. And eventually just bringing the hands down to the floor, let yourself drop in. And trusting in the process, trusting in the unfolding. And just close your eyes and listen to your breath. And then you'll start to come back up. As you bend your right knee, placing your foot to your inner thigh. Same procedure, second side, turning the chest a little over to the right. Right arm reaching up. Exhale to take that bend. Eventually turning the chest down and over that left thigh. And then bringing yourself gently back up. Bending your knees, bringing the legs in a seated position. And then we'll open up the arms, eagle arms, as you bring that right arm underneath the left, giving yourself a hug. Hugs are a nice reminder of self-care, self-love. You can stay here as is or start to bend your elbows a little more, or even double bind the hands. And just feeling the opening between the shoulder blades. And then from here, you can do some movements. If you've got a hug for yourself, you can move the neck into some neck circles. If you have a bind, you can do some rotations, the shoulders, the elbows. And eventually just finding some stillness, giving yourself a hug. And then we tuck the chin and just start to round in the spine. Let your head be really heavy. And as we just continue to practice letting go of the weight of the world on the shoulders. And then we rise gently back up, neutral spine as you release those arms. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. Bringing the hands to the heart center, exhale. And then expanding your arms, opening the heart. Gather all the energy back to the heart center, breath out. And then from the heart, we reach those palms up, inhale. And let all that energy fall around you, exhale. Second side, opening up the arms. Exhale, left arm goes underneath the right, giving yourself that hug. Option for full eagle arms, Garudasana. Or just pause and hold. Continue to lengthen through the spine, pressing into the seat. And then option for movements, neck, elbows. A couple more breaths. Eventually coming back to the center and just giving yourself that really nice big hug again. And we start to tuck the chin, gently rounding in the spine. And just let the weight in the neck, shoulders go. And lifting once again back to neutral, releasing those arms. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. Hands to the heart, exhale. Expanding your wings, opening up the chest, breath in. Gather energy back to the heart, breath out. From the heart center, reaching those arms up, inhale. And all the energy falling around you, exhale. I'm going to come down to the floor, so you can go and just extend the legs forward, lie down. And once you get there, we just start out with just grounding the entire body into the floor. Effortlessly calm. And then we move into figure 4 or half pigeon. Go and start to bend your knees, feet on the mat, and then cross your right ankle above the left knee. And you can just press the thigh away from the chest or bring the legs in and holding wherever it's comfortable. And a few more soothing breaths here. And then slowly unraveling the legs, walking the feet out, mat distance. Do some of those wipers again, little side to side. And then the legs come back up as you walk the feet back in, crossing the left ankle above your right knee this time. Once again, you can just press the thigh away or bring the legs in and breathe. And breathing space in through the pelvis. Continuing to tune into the breath, to the beating of your heart. And then we'll go ahead and slowly start to unravel. Walk your feet out again. This time, let your knees just fall to the left. Right arm can reach up overhead and just let the arm drape. Now, you can continue to press that right thigh down to the floor. You can also take your left ankle and place it above your right knee. That's going to add a little bit more sensation. Again, if it's too much, just unravel. And to keep that right shoulder melting to the floor, you can turn the head a little to the right. And then releasing the arm, releasing the legs, bring the legs back up to the center, and then over to the other side, knees falling over to the right. Left arm reaching up overhead, just letting that arm drape. Again, option to place your right ankle above the left knee. And then the gaze can go to the left to encourage your shoulder down. And then releasing the arm, releasing the legs, bring the legs back up. And back to a few of those wipers and just wiping the slate clean. It's this reset from the day. We allow ourselves to be present. Many times our minds are either in the past or in the future. But in those moments of bliss, present moment awareness, there is integration of mind, body, and spirit. Eventually letting the legs come back up and then finding happy baby to neutralize your spine. Legs can come in. And once again, just a little rocking, a little swaying. And eventually finding your way towards final pose. Just letting the legs extend out. Sliding the shoulder blades down your back. Windows of the eyes closed. And I will invite you to imagine every cell in your body smiling. Every cell in your body receptive to all the work you've done, the heart work, as you give yourself this time to recharge. And it's so different from just plopping into bed after a long day. But the transition in between, where you can take that moment to really breathe deeply, to expand your capacity for compassion, for patience, for self-love. And then as you start to breathe in through the nose, out through the nose, fueling your energy reserves, feeling the breath flow to the bottom of your lungs. And then feel it rise into your chest, opening the heart center. And on the exhale, letting your entire body root into the earth. On the exhale, simply letting go. Continuing to allow your body to grow heavier, releasing muscle to bone. And I'm going to end our time together with a short reading. You're welcome to listen in or just let my voice float upon your own meditation. If you be really still for a moment, close your eyes and breathe deeply. You can almost feel the heartbeat of the world slowing down. If you can resist for a moment the need to be fast and furious, the need to accomplish constantly, you can almost feel Mother Nature placing her hands on your shoulders, telling you to let go, telling you to give up the need to control, telling you that this is not your chapter in the story. This chapter is the one where the world took over, the one where things we really didn't need were shown to be useless and futile, the one where we were led to see what matters and what really doesn't. If you close your eyes and listen very hard, you will soon find what your purpose is in all of this. But not yet. For now, your purpose is to yield, to give in, be still. Trust in the process and wait for your message to come. You will hear it loud and clear in the stillness, but not yet. For now, let the story unfold and rise to the challenge of nothing. It may just turn out to be your biggest achievement yet. I'll bring my hands to my heart center. I bow my head to you. Thank you so much for being here. I leave you with love and light. I leave you with power and with peace. Namaste.